Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakha Kwadash. I also want to give double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing and many salutations unto you elect across the four winds of this earth, fulfilling your lots in all truth and all sincerity. I am the priest Sha'ar from the Great Millstone Dallas branch, coming to you all with another lesson through the Spirit. And Lord's willing, this lesson here will be edifying unto the flock. And I just did a lesson previously going into the Hebrew prayer of the book of Psalms 119 and 118. And that there was a psalm, when you go into that psalm there within in general, that's a prayer for you asking the Lord to open up your mind when you delve into the scriptures, or when you meditate on spiritual things. That's what that prayer is going into. So I recited it in the Hebrew and just touched up on the importance of the Hebrew language, and not that it's a strict requirement in order to receive salvation, but it aids within your walk to salvation as you call unto the Lord in the language that we've been blessed with. It all just ties into rehearsing the righteous acts. So again, you might have certain individuals that might not be as strong in the Hebrew, and that's okay, because you're strong in other ways, and you have other gifts you've been blessed with. And then you have those that are a little more strong within the Hebrew. And it all is part of the balance at the end of the day. As the scriptures say in the book of 1 Corinthians, 12th chapter, and I'm going to get it. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 4. Now, where there are diversity of gifts, but the same Spirit, and there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord, and there are diversities of operations, but in the same God, which worketh all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit with all. So every gift that we've been given ultimately is meant to help each other out, because we're all weak in certain areas. You have certain of those that might not be as weak or as strong as other people, but at the end of the day, this is a body. So we're all here to help one another out. And there are certain people who have been blessed with gifts in certain areas, and all that is meant to help. So let's continue. For to one is given the Spirit, by the Spirit, the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But all these worketh the one and the selfsame Spirit, dividing to every man several as he will. All right, so you go into that. The Apostle Paul is going into the fact that everybody has their own particular gift that they've been blessed with. And you have the gifts of tongues by individuals. And you also have those that have been allotted the portion of being what's called a teacher. And teachers are meant to teach. Okay, so if your portion is Hebrew, you're going to teach Hebrew more. If your portion is charity or whatever, you're going to teach by doing those things. So I wanted to read that just to touch up on that again, just to comfort you all that might not be as strong in the Hebrew, but this lesson is going to be another Hebrew prayer. Okay. And I mentioned in my previous lesson the introduction to the book of Sirach, even as our forefather wrote that letter, and even he goes into the importance and the power of the original language. So he stressed the fact that he tried to interpret it to the best of his way, but it still wouldn't be as strong as the original text. So I'm going to read this really quick in Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, and this is the prologue of the wisdom of Yahawashi, the son of Sirach. So this is the wisdom of Yahawashi, not the Messiah, but another individual, one of our forefathers named Yahawashi. So going into it, I'm going to just jump to the point, and it says, matter of fact, let's start at the top. And it reads, whereas many and great things have been delivered unto us by the law and the prophets, and by others that have followed their steps. For the which things Israel ought to be commended for learning and wisdom. and whereof not only the readers must needs become skillful in themselves, you see? So he's stressing the importance of the audience becoming even skillful within your studies. Now let's continue. But also they that desire to learn be able to profit them which are without, both by speaking and writing. My grandfather Yahawashi, because you have Yahawashi, and then you have Sirach, which is the son of Yahawashi, and then you have Yahawashi, which is the son of Sirach, the grandson of Yahawashi. So he was named after his grandfather. Okay? So it says, my grandfather Yahawashi, when he had much given himself to the reading of the law, and the prophets and other books of our fathers, and had gotten therein good judgment, was drawn on himself to write something pertaining to learning and wisdom. Check this out. To the intent that those which are desirous to learn and are addicted to these things might profit much more in living according to the law. So the more you're in tune with it, the more you're addicted to it, the more you're gonna want to fulfill it. So it says, wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention. So he's going into the importance. Okay, if you want to fulfill this and live this way, pay attention to what I'm about to say. So it says, let me entreat you to read and with favor and attention, and to pardon us. So he's saying, excuse us. Okay. Whereas we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret, for the same thing uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. So even when is translated in English or whatever language is translated from, it's not going to pack the same punch and come with the same power. So this is just an example, as well as why we stress the importance of at least being eager to learn Hebrew, or to the best of your ability with the Lord that put the Spirit on you, because it can help you out. And this prayer right here is going to be the book of Psalms 119 and verse 25. And this is going to be another Hebrew prayer. And this prayer is you asking the Lord for strength to get you out of tough situations. Let's say you're going through a spiritual lull. You might just be plagued. I don't want to say plagued, but you might have demons messing with you at that time. There's certain moments where you don't even feel like you're a man of the Lord. And those are the unfortunate things. Well, I don't want to say unfortunate, because it ultimately is meant to make us better. But these are the things that we have to deal with when it comes to following Yahawashi. As it's even written, it says, the sacrifices unto the Most High are of a contrite heart and of a broken spirit. So even feeling these ways, it's necessary sometimes in order to get us closer to the Lord. But at the same time, when you do feel this way, you pray that you become solution oriented to get you out of that hole and out of that ditch. So this prayer is to help pull us out of that hole or out of that ditch when we are dealing with these things. Maybe for the Lord to open up your mind on something that you got to get clarity from, to change that feeling, whatever the case is. But this prayer is Psalms 119 in verse 25. And I'm going to read it. And it says, Dalath, which means door in the Hebrew, or gate. It says, my soul cleaveth unto the dust. Quicken thou me according to thy word. So what he's saying is how his spirit is vexed and it's low, because dust is low to the earth. And then the second part is quicken thou me according to thy word. And the word quicken means to bring to life. And bringing to life, sometimes you get brought to life just by going into the scriptures. All right, going into the scriptures and meditating on heavenly things. And Satan might try to throw those distractions, not even might try, he will. He'll throw the distractions in the way and everything, but we have to just fight through it. But when you're feeling low, when you're feeling like you're at the dust, when you're confused, whatever the case is, pray this prayer. And I'm going to recite it, I'm going to recite it in the Hebrew. So you have the word Dabarqua. I'm sorry, not Dabarqua, Dabaqua. Da-Baqua. Cleaveth unto the dust. La-ipar. La-ipar. Unto or to the dust. La-ipar. Napasha, which is my soul. You have Napash, which is the word for soul. And you have Yah at the end of it because it's pertaining to you. Napasha my soul. And if it would be your soul, you would be napash ka. Because in my previous lesson, I went into ka at the end of a word is pertaining to something else, or pertaining to something that has ownership over the said party. So let's continue. It says chaya naya, which is quicken thou me. And even when you go into the word quicken, you have chaya, which is how you pronounce the name of Eve. All right? Because Eve is mother of all living or all life. And to quicken means to bring to life. So you have the word chaya for quicken, thou me na ya. Because again, it's pertaining to you. Chaya na ya. And then you have ka dabar ka, which is according to thy word. You have dabar in the middle of that, which is word, and ka, which is your word. So how to say this prayer together in Psalms 119 and 25 would be dabakwa la ipar napashka chaya naya ka dabarka, which is my soul cleaveth unto the dust, quicken thou me according to thy word. And Lord's willing, this is going to be a prayer that I'm going to incorporate in my life when I am feeling low and feeling weak in the spirit, as we all go through those moments on occasions. So hopefully this was edifying to the church. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing and many salutations unto your elect across the four winds of this earth, fulfilling your lots in all truth and all sincerity. Shalom.